Mom?
Yes.
Mom, what are you doing?
Watching TV?
Mom, Mom, I need you to come to Van Buren, please.
Come to Van Buren?
Mom, he killed her, Mom.
Oh my God.
I need you to come to Van Buren, please.
Will they let me come up there?
Mom, he killed her. Oh my God.
Will they let me come up there? Eva, ask Sergeant Perry. Eva, let me talk to Sergeant Perry. Eva, let me talk to Sergeant Perry real quick.
Hey, Eva. Your mama's on the way, okay? I'm gonna give you a minute, alright? There's Kleenex right there, alright?
I really believed you didn't do it. I'm so sorry.
The torn metal wallet, once wrapped in rubber bands for luck, had vanished. In the chaos, he was left only with scattered phone numbers and fragments of fading memories.
You need a coffee or water or anything? Good? Cigarette? Yeah.
We might gonna write it a little bit.
We might put it, yeah.
A whole pack, maybe?
$50-something days, huh?
Yeah, can't you tell?
That's forever. Holy cow.
I don't shave in jail. I don't want my leg to fall off.
I didn't even notice. I'm sorry.
Every time I come here, you catch me in shorts with my legs all hairy. I'm beginning to think you got a camera for when my legs are hairy. Bring her in.
I might let you smoke one right now. Take a few puffs on one.
Sweet. I'm down.
How's that grab you? How long a trip was it? About 12 hours or so?
No, actually, we left at 5:30 and got here around 11:12. We rode on 2 planes, so I'll never do that again in my life. I've never rode on a plane.
Oh, you flew.
Yeah, 2 different planes. One for 35 minutes and one for 2 hours.
That's the first time you flew?
And let me tell you, I'm never telling nobody.
Wow.
Because the first time I flew was to jail.
Yeah. You can say you flew now, though. You don't have to.
Yeah,
you don't have to throw that other stuff in on that, right?
I think that's all we got.
It's great.
All right.
Here, let's come out here.
Spell your first name.
Eva, E-V-A.
Last name.
Millard, M-I-L-L-A-R-D.
What's your date of birth?
10/24/91.
As the investigator read her rights, a flicker of unease crossed her face. The words about silence, lawyers, and the law pressed down on her mind, each sentence tightening her anxiety.
We just got to go over these again like we do every time we talk to anybody, okay? So just
saying I don't need a lawyer for the other stuff.
do it now. Well, let me just go over these and just telling you what your rights are, and you can tell me yes or no whether or not you understand. That's all we're doing on this
So
record.
I'm not waiving a lawyer or none of that.
Okay, you're not.
Huh? I got two charges. I can't afford to waive a lawyer.
Well, just let me read this to you. Okay? Okay. Do you understand that you have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that anything you say may be used against you in court? Do you understand that? Do you understand that you have the right to talk to an attorney before any question and have an attorney present with you during questioning? Do you understand that? Do you understand if you cannot afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed by the court for you prior to any questioning at little or no cost to you? Do you understand that? Do you understand if you decide to answer questions now, you can decide to stop answering any time, and you can stop answering any time till you speak with an attorney? You sign right there. It's just saying you understand what your rights are, okay? Okay. This next part says, no promises or threats have been used against me to induce me to waive the rights listed above. With full knowledge of my rights, I hereby voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently waive them to answer questions. That's basically saying that I hadn't promised you anything and I hadn't threatened you to make you talk to me. If we talk for 10 minutes and you decide you don't want to talk anymore, that's your right. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Get you sign right there. Never seen anybody hold a pen like that.
It's because my hand's messed up.
What'd you do to it?
I was drunk. Fell through a window.
What'd you do that for?
Actually, I had a friend that was going face first into an already broken window, and I decided my drunk ass was going to save his face and screwed myself up.
Gosh. So, have you been seeing Jordan while you were up there? Have y'all been still together? Pretty much.
Kinda, yeah. I can't remember exactly when he got back, but I was under the impression that we were still good until he got there, really. And that's when I found out about all the other stuff.
Like what stuff?
The girls, drugs, all that.
That he'd been doing after? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about that. I don't guess I knew anything about the girls and the drugs and stuff.
I didn't either. I didn't even know whenever I called.
Are y'all still living together?
Amid the turmoil, she suddenly spoke of her child, a fragile life, not even a year old, far from his mother's embrace. The fear of losing him trembled through every word she spoke.
But for that whole year until I called, I was in Michigan and he was here. I didn't come down at all.
Right. Okay.
I got a hawk.
Okay.
I got a son. You know that? How'd you know that?
You was pregnant at the time, right?
I had a miscarriage on the 26th.
Oh, okay. And so you've had one since then? I did not know that.
He's 11. He'll be 11 months old on the 10th. That's why I need to talk to my mom.
Okay, when was the last time you talked to her?
Before all this stuff.
Okay.
Because I'm afraid that I'm afraid to. That's why I wouldn't talk to that lady.
What lady?
The lady that arrested me.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. So what questions do you have for me? What do you want to talk about?
I need my son here with my mom.
Does your mom have your son? Where's he at? In Michigan? Who has him? Jordan? Is it with Jordan's family? Okay. So,
the thing is I was planning on leaving and coming home to my mom.
yeah.
And then that's kind of what I was talking to that priest about. But I didn't know how to just leave. And my mom kept telling me just to come home, just to come home. And I was trying to make enough money too, just come home.
Yeah.
And then I went to jail. And I want my son with my mom. So.
Okay. Well, is Jordan the father? Okay.
Who else would be the father? I'm not a cheater.
I don't know. I didn't know you had a son. I don't know what's going on.
Jeez.
Okay. So.
That's why I didn't tell you where I was at when I called. That's why I haven't talked to no one, because I'm worried about my son.
Right.
And I want my son with my mom.
Okay.
My mom wants my son too, but we didn't. I was just going to come with my son, but I didn't know really how.
The image of her mother and child in Michigan became her only anchor. Yet hidden beneath that hope were secrets of a broken love, betrayal, and the kind of darkness that can't be erased.
Okay.
But I'm afraid with this stuff now, because they're supposed to come and bail me out or whatever, and then.
So Jordan and them were coming down to bail you out? Is that what you're saying?
Supposed to.
So that'd probably bring your son with them, right? Okay. Have you talked to him lately? Did you talk to him today? When was the last time you talked to Jordan?
Yesterday.
Okay. Well, we'll just keep that between us, but you won't leave. And when he gets down here with the baby, then you can just go with your mom. The baby. Does that sound fair?
Are you going to take him away?
No.
Because I've done everything right. I haven't used. The whole time I was pregnant, I didn't use. He's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I just don't.
What's his name?
Trip.
Trip?
I just don't want to lose him. I've already lost him.
Yeah, I know you have. I know you have, girl. Well, and this is the thing, and I'm going to let you read the autopsy if you want to read it, okay?
I want you to show me what you guys see, because I don't understand.
Well, so.
I put her to bed myself. And then I went to sleep, and then that morning I thought she was asleep, so I just slept in. I didn't know she was gone.
Well, I'm 100% sure that his dad or his grandpa that was living with y'all?
His dad.
His dad. I'm 100% sure he didn't do it. After talking to him and before he passed away and everything, that's all the evidence that we have as far as what actually took place. But as far as Jordan doing it, I mean, if you didn't do it, who did it?
I still believed it was an accident.
100% not. And we've had this conversation. And I'm going to let you read what the autopsy says. And it absolutely says, without a shadow of a doubt, it was an accident.
When the child's death was brought up, painful truths began to surface. The story of an accident crumbled. Guilt, suspicion, and fear closed in, forcing her to confront a haunting memory.
Okay. Absolutely, it says that. I'm just being blunt with you on that. And I'm going to let you read it. I don't have no problem with that. Okay? So, with that being said, if you know for a fact that you didn't do it, That leaves one person. That leaves one person, you know? And so I know either Jordan has had to have said something.
To me?
Mm-hmm.
About killing her?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't said nothing like that to me.
Or either you know something. I mean, during the time period that they're saying that the baby died, I mean, you and him were there.
What time?
It's like a 4 or 5 time period between like midnight and 4 or something like that. 5 maybe in the morning. Okay. But, you know, the thing is, it absolutely was not an accident. You know what?
She looked like there was nothing wrong.
There was.
To me.
Well,
Is there something I could sign my son to my mom?
no. If they come down, I mean, you can get him.
What kind of bond am I looking at?
I'm not sure. I know there wasn't a bond on the warrant, so they'll probably go before a judge in the morning. They'll set a bond.
I mean, like, hi, I don't understand the felonies. I've only had breaking and entering felonies, and I think my bond was $10,000.
Yeah.
She lowered her gaze, fighting back tears. The weight of years in prison loomed ahead. But deep down, what terrified her most wasn't the sentence. It was the thought of losing her child forever.
So I don't know what...
I don't know what they'll set it at. I really don't have any idea.
Like how I like Jordan's?
I don't know. I wouldn't think so.
What's the difference between a D and a B felony?
Well, big difference.
Like, years-wise, what am I looking at?
What was Jordan charged with? He was charged with murder, wasn't he?
First degree, I think.
First degree. So he's looking 10 to 40 to life, where yours is probably, on each count, don't hold me to it, probably 6 year each. 1 to 6 years.
So it's going to be a high bond.
I honestly, I don't know.
I'm just asking because they're supposed to be the ones that hire me a lawyer and paying my bond, so...
I got you. And they'll know more about that in the morning. But hey, this is the deal. Why don't you look at me? Why don't you listen to me, okay? There's no way that Jordan has done all this, and I just can't see that. And you not know something. Okay? Does that make you a bad person? No. Because I think at the time, you both, I know you and him both had a major pill problem.
I did.
I know. Absolutely you did.
But I don't anymore, just...
I know you don't. I know. And I'm just telling you that you have fixed yourself, you have changed, but at the same time, we have to make what happened right. I mean, you agree with that, okay?
I didn't do anything to her.
I'm not saying you did.
And if I'd have known you did, I would have told you. I don't know what kind of person that would make me not to tell you. And after he went to jail, I didn't see him. And every time I talked to him, he was sick and had to go lay down because he had other things to do. He didn't talk to me really. And whenever he came home, I was working at the store, and I'd been taking care of a little old dude, constantly working.
Yeah.
Because I found out all the stuff, and I had to throw myself into something else.
That fateful night, she recounted every detail. The pills, the fatigue, the long hours of sleep, and the faint cries in the dark. Piece by piece, the truth she had hidden began to unravel.
I'm telling you, him and his mom don't talk to me about it, and whenever I do bring it up, it's shut down. And I tell you, I don't know. If I did, I'd tell you. I wish I did. It would make more sense in my head if I did.
So looking back at that night, what was your condition? What were you? I mean, I know y'all been taking pills, and I know you were taking pills that next day. Right.
That night, I was asleep. I slept most of the day, and I slept the night.
The day before.
Because I wasn't feeling good. And we went to the doctor, and then we got the prescription for, we got the Suboxone prescription, and I got it was some kind of steroid, something that the doctor prescribed.
Yeah.
But I was asleep. I didn't even wake up to do anything, pills or anything. I was asleep, and every time I would wake up, I'd go to the garage and smoke a cigarette and go right back to bed. And
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know she was crying, and she got up there with y'all.
I got her myself.
Right.
And I put her in bed with me, and Jordan, she wasn't telling me no. And Jordan told me that if he needed to go into the other room, and I told him no. And then I laid her back down in the pack and play, and I went and filled up her bottle, came back, gave it to her, put her blanket on her, and kissed her on the forehead, and told her good night, I loved her, and then crawled back in bed and went back to sleep.
In the quiet room, she recalled the fateful night, placing her child in bed, pulling up the blanket, kissing the forehead, and whispering love. She believed sleep would be peaceful, but fate had other plans.
Every time I close my eyes, because I feel like it's my fault, because I laid her back down. I didn't leave her in bed with me.
Yeah.
So that goes over my head. It's like a video that plays.
Yeah.
But then I went back to sleep. And then in the morning she was gone. But I didn't know. I thought she was still asleep, so I went back to sleep.
And he hadn't said anything to you about any of this? Y'all haven't discussed it? You and him together, when y'all were alone, you're telling me this has not been discussed, period.
When I try to discuss it, he shuts it down. He doesn't want to talk about it.
And so what do you think about that in your mind? Do you think he's being honest?
I want to think he's being honest.
You know whether or not you did it.
I know I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So you're telling me you didn't. So that leaves only him. You see what I'm saying?
I would be lying to you if I ever questioned. I
understand that.
I question it every day. Even the phone call I made to you, that was me questioning. Because I want to know why. I'm thinking that if you guys can show me why you think it's him, maybe I'll see it from your guys' point of view, and then maybe it'll...
Well, our big deal is the way he acted that morning, knowing knowing that she was gone. And then he says...
He didn't know she was dead. He thought she was hurt.
Well, he told us he checked for her breathing and pulse, and there wasn't nothing.
And he told me when it all happened, and I kept trying to tell him that there was something really wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He put his hands on her chest like this,
mm-hmm.
and told me to calm down because there was a pulse. And then whenever I picked her up and went through the hallway to the living room yelling at him to call 911.
That morning, she thought the child was still asleep. But when she lifted the little body, a harsh truth struck. No breath, blood on the lips. Her partner's slow reaction to call 911 filled her with suspicion.
I laid her down on the couch on her back,
mm-hmm.
so I could go figure out what happened. And then I turned on my heel and I realized that my shoulder was wet. So that made me turn back around, and he was on the phone with 911 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whenever I seen the blood on her lip.
Mm-hmm.
And then I screamed at him because I was further away from her than him to flip her over and hit her on the back because I thought maybe she was choking. And he flipped her over, but he was barely touching, patting her back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's when he hung up the phone with the ambulance people, so he could do what I told him to do. And then I pushed him out of the way and hit her harder on the back to get the stuff for whatever out of her throat.
Right.
And then he felt for a heartbeat again and told me there was a heartbeat. And I kept telling him there wasn't. And that's when I screamed for him to call 911 again, and he did. And then I was holding her, and he told me he had to take those people home. I told him that he probably shouldn't. He said, I have to take these people home, and he left. I took Olivia back into the bedroom, laid her on the bed on her back, trying to figure out where she was hurt, or definitely where she was bleeding. And that's when I looked in her little mouth, and that's whenever, when I was holding her while he was on the phone with 911 the second time, I went to do this to put her here, and I took my hand off of her neck, and then I noticed that her head kind of flopped. And I went to catch it, and that's whenever I felt the crack or a cracking feeling in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I yelled at him that I thought her neck was broken. And then that's whenever he was on the phone 911 and told him to come the second time, and then right after that he left.
In desperation, she pressed her ear to find a heartbeat, but there was none. Yet he insisted it was still there. When paramedics arrived, she remembered he had left to call his ex-wife, abandoning her in grief.
I took her back to the bedroom. I took her little onesie off of her. Was looking for the whatever, and then I flipped her over onto her stomach so I could check her neck, and I put her little hair in like a ponytail with my hand, trying to feel around on her head to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't. The only thing that I seen was the little bruise here and the little bruise here, and I couldn't figure out why she was bleeding. And I even tried to check her mouth, and that's when I noticed that her arm wouldn't come down.
Yeah.
And then I laid her on her side just in case. Just in case she was going to choke or whatever. I think that was just me hoping that she would. I laid her on her side and I ran to find my phone so I could call 911 again because it was taking them forever to me. I don't know why. But when I got a hold of 911, I talked to the lady for maybe 30 seconds and then I seen the shoes in the door. And then that's when they came in.
Yeah.
But he did tell me she had a pulse twice. So, I don't know. He says he thought she was just hurt and was going to go to the hospital.
Well, he didn't feel a pulse, that's for sure.
I always thought he felt his own.
It might be. Could have. But when he took them home, he didn't even come right back. Well, you know, that's just weird.
He did come right back.
No, he didn't. He went down the road and stopped and called his ex-wife and talked to her for 40 minutes.
He told me it's because the police was pushing him off the road.
That didn't make sense. Didn't say nothing to Pam about the whole deal. But he went down the road and talked to her for 40 minutes on the phone before he came home, knowing what you were going through. So see, the stuff like that absolutely points to him. Okay? But what bothers us is the fact that you're still with him. You're still, you know, for a funeral. I
didn't know about the funeral.
Investigators asked why she stayed by his side. She revealed that the funeral and every decision had been hidden from her. Even the day her child was buried, she was never told. She only found out later.
You knew there was a funeral.
I set up the funeral from where I was at. I was going to come back. I set it up at McDonald's. I want to say it was McDonald's out of Greenwood. I called him. We set it up. He had a chapel on the side of his, what do you call it, funeral home?
Mm-hmm.
And he was giving us everything. The casket, the only thing I was going to have to pay was $600, and he was going to let us have 2 different services in his little chapel for Jose's family and for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't know what Jose wanted, I told that guy to call Jose, and I gave him Jose's number. And that guy called Jose because I wanted to make for sure Jose got a say in what went on that day. And Jose straight told that guy, we have everything under control. Eva's just not supposed to know about it. And that guy called us back and told me. So.
Did you call Jose and talk to him?
I did talk to Jose. Jose told me that the first time I talked to Jose, he told me he was going to cremate her. We had a fight about that, and I told him no. Well, then, that was before I set up the funeral. And then, I want to say we talked again, and he said something. He was going to go meet with someone about getting her body released or something, and I told him that's when I just got back. I just got to Michigan, and he said something about the funeral being, he wanted it on a Thursday, I believe. And then I called. I was under the impression he hadn't set anything up, so that's when I called and had everything set up. And the funeral is going to be on a Monday. But he told me something about a Thursday, but the funeral was a Saturday. So I was under the impression it was going to be on whichever day, but I had no idea about a Saturday. Because I called my mom, and I told my mom that me and Jose were fighting over the cremation. And we were going to bury her by my granny and papa in Waldron. Because my mom has, what do you call it?
Lots. Right, yeah.
Because she has 12 kids. So she had a lot of them already paid for. Because that's the road that I grew up on.
Her lawyer urged her to leave Arkansas and return to Michigan. Reluctant, she obeyed, trusting the large sum she had paid him. But the truth was cruel. She had lost her last chance to see her child.
And I was going to bury her by my granny and papa. But Jose told that guy I wasn't supposed to know, that he had everything taken care of. And if you need that, I probably could call the guy.
Why did y'all go back to Michigan?
Because the lawyer said that that was the best thing to do.
What did you think about it?
I didn't want to go because my family is here. But I was under the impression that that was the best place for us to go. They paid him $100,000, so I thought he knew what he's talking about. And then when we came back, my main reason for coming back is because I did miss Olivia's funeral, and I still haven't seen her grave. But I was going to go that day and see her grave. But then Jordan got arrested, and the lawyer told us to get back to Michigan. And then I didn't come back at all because I was under the impression that I wasn't allowed to come back to Arkansas per the lawyer.
He's not your lawyer.
But he said that...
You know what I'm saying?
I know, but I don't know if any of this really happened. I'm just telling you what I was told. I was told, mind you, I'm really scared about Tripp, so I don't really like to bring his name up, but I was pregnant with him. And I had insurance and everything in Michigan. But at first it was, I couldn't come back and live with Jordan because I was pregnant with Tripp and I had Michigan Medicaid or whatever. And my doctor was in Michigan. I tried to argue the point that I could have got Medicaid like that in Arkansas. I've always had it there. But then it went to the lawyer. The lawyer says it's not a good idea because they picked up Jordan.
He's got one concern, and that's Jordan. That's not you.
So my mom keeps saying.
You know what I'm saying? And that lawyer knows. He knows the truth. Jordan knows the truth.
They told me the lawyer knows Jordan didn't do it.
So that leaves you. Did you do it?
There ain't no way in hell.
There's two people in that room. You and Jordan.
When the autopsy report was revealed, the tragic picture became clear. Bruises and injuries contradicted his story. The child's death was no accident. It was the undeniable mark of murder.
Can I smoke again? Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
It's too much.
I'll be right back with you, okay?
Is it gonna bother you if I wear a mask? Okay. So, we're talking about the autopsy. I'm gonna show it to you, okay? So, it's a big, long thing, and we can go through all of it, but usually and it explains, let me show you. So, it's Olivia Faith Soto, okay? And it shows that they ruled it a homicide, okay? And then it explains like her, thank you. It explains like her external description, which is, I mean, we can go through and read it if you want to. Do you want to go through the whole thing? Okay. So it says,
Sorry.
That's great. It says, let me make sure I turn this off. It says the body was that of a well-developed and well-nourished white female toddler. At the time of initial examination, the body was nude. A disposable diaper was present under the body. Paper bags were present on the hands. The body weighed 24 pounds, measured...
Paper bags? I didn't put paper bags.
We do. We bag our hands. Okay? In case there's any kind of...
And I was thinking, I know I put a diaper on her. Sorry.
No, we bag hands. So, it says the body weighed 24 pounds, measured 33 inches in length, and appeared consistent with the stated age of 2 years. Body temperature was cold. Rigor mortis was fully and uniformly developed in the extremities. And there's going to be a lot of things that you don't understand in here.
Rigor mortis wasn't said in, only in her arm.
When it got to the ME, baby. Okay. Faint, fixed, purple-red lividity was present on the posterior body surfaces except in areas exposed to pressure. The scalp was covered by brown-black hair measuring up to 10 inches in maximum length. Injuries involving the scalp will be described below. The irides were brown and cornea were clear. The conjunctive and scleria showed no petechial hemorrhages or other significant changes.
What's that mean?
So petechia is like if she was like physically choked. You have blood vessels in your eye, and I've seen people that have had petechia in their chest, like if there's the person that I saw had choked to death and there was a whole lot of pressure there, like if you're choking, like somebody's strangling somebody, a lot of times the blood vessels in their eyes will pop, and that's called petechia.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm going to have a lot of questions.
And we may have to, that's fine, because some of this I may not understand because I'm not a forensic doctor.
Investigators explained each wound on the fragile body. There were no signs of suffocation as claimed, only evidence of violence. The cold truth forced her to face her greatest fear. Her child had been killed.
When we get to the very back page, it's like, I call it the page for dummies.
Oh, okay.
So it explains everything in layman terms, like where we can understand it, okay? So if you have questions about something, if I can't answer it in here, it'll answer it back here where we can understand it, okay? It says, injuries involving the external ears will be described below. The nasal passages and mouth contain minimal amounts of mucid sanguous fluid. The teeth were normally erupted for age and appeared unremarkable. Inner surfaces of the lips were without evidence of energy. The frenulum of the upper lip was intact. I think that's that thing right there. You know what I'm talking about? Let me find where I was. Superficial injury involving the anterior neck will be described below. The chest was normally developed and generally symmetric. Superficial injuries on the upper anterior right chest will be described below. The abdomen was flat and showed no external evidence of any mortem injury. The external genitalia were those of a normally developed female child and showed no evidence of injury or abnormality. The lower extremities were normally developed and generally symmetric. Superficial injuries located on and around the anterior knees will be described below. The lower extremities were otherwise without evidence of old or recent injury. The ankles and feet were unremarkable, which means there just wasn't anything. They were normal. The upper extremities were normally developed and generally symmetric. Superficial injuries involving the right upper arm and both elbows will be described below. The upper extremities were otherwise without evidence of injury. Examination of the hands did not reveal any evidence of acute ante-mortem injury. The nails were relatively short and intact. Examination of the posterior body surfaces revealed a single superficial injury on the left lower back.
The autopsy began. Doctors described bruises on her scalp and ear stretching inches wide. The mother admitted she couldn't grasp the medical terms, only the enormity of the injuries.
The back and buttocks were otherwise without external evidence of ante-mortem injury. The anus was without evidence of injury or abnormality. So it says ECG pads, evidence of medical attention. So this is what they saw when they got her, okay? Because we don't mess with the body other than just like bagging hands or something like that. We send it.
Question? Would I have done any of this stuff to her when I tried to do CQ?
No, probably not.
If I didn't know what I was doing.
That's fine. No. Probably not. Okay. ECG pads were present on the upper anterior right chest and lower anterior left chest. Evidence of old injury, none present. Evidence of recent injury. Okay? And like I said, there's going to be things we probably don't understand in this, but they describe it back here to people like me. Okay? that aren't doctors.
Like me.
Yeah. A wide confluent contusion involved much of the lateral right parietal and temporal scalp. This contusion, a contusion is like a bruise, extended to involve skin surfaces immediately posterior to the external ear. Overall, it involved an area measuring 4 by 3.5 inches in greatest dimensions. Skin surfaces with the contused area did not show any abrasions, lacerations, or additional injuries. Near confluent contusion hemorrhage also involved the upper half of the posterior right external ear. On the outer surface of the right external ear, a 1/2 inch diameter purple-blue contusion involved the scapha. Scattered over skin surfaces of the helix, tragus, and other parts of the external ear.
Go to the dummies.
Okay. I don't even understand those words. I'm sorry. No, you're fine. So this goes through and just explains all of the systems and stuff like that, okay? And I'm going to hold this because we may go back to that. Okay, this is what was in her system, okay? Which they'll explain that. So she was positive for oxycodone and benzos, all right, and acetaminophen. So basically, he explains in here that it looks like she had been given Roxyset, and I'll explain. He thinks it's Roxyset, and I'll explain that when we read this. It'll explain it. So findings. This is what they found: craniocerebral injuries, marked contusion of the hemorrhage and scalp, comminuted fractures of posterior calvarum and basal skull. So she had fractures in her skull. Minimal subdural hemorrhage.
What does that mean? She was bleeding.
We're going to explain it in here.
Oh, okay.
I'm just explaining what they...
Findings deepened. Brain hemorrhage, fractures, broken rib, bruises across her tiny body. The conclusion was blunt. Olivia had died from severe blunt force trauma.
Subarachnoid hemorrhage, posterior cerebral hemispheres, and cerebellum. Lacerations of the cerebellum and posterior corpus, can't say that word, callosum. And then terminal blood aspiration. Multiple superficial blunt force injuries. Okay? There were contusions of the face, neck, upper chest, knees, elbows, and the right upper arm. Acute inflammatory response associated with contusion. There was an acute fracture of a right second rib. Intercostal soft tissue hemorrhage of the right chest wall. Pulmonary hystosis and bilateral pulmonary vascular congestion. So here is the doctor's opinion, okay? This 2-year-old female child, Olivia Soto, died of craniocerebral injuries, blunt force injuries of the head and brain. According to the investigation, just after 11 a.m. on 11/8/2018, she was reportedly found lying unresponsive. Medical aid was summoned and she was transported to the hospital. She was obviously deceased and prolonged resuscitation attempts were not made. Death was not officially made by the deputy coroner until 2:21 p.m. External examination of the body revealed multiple fresh bruises. Many of these were concentrated on the face and neck. A very large contusion was present on the right side of the head. Subsequent internal examination of the head revealed widespread hemorrhage in the scalp and multiple comminuted skull fractures. There were corresponding subdural and subarachnoid hemorrhage, as well as injuries to the posterior part of the brain. Additional superficial blunt force injuries were present on the right upper chest, both knees, both elbows, and the right upper arm. Areas of soft tissue hemorrhage involved the right rib cage. An acute fracture of the right second rib was identified. Internal examination did not show evidence of old injury or life-threatening natural diseases. There were gross and microscopic findings of histoplasmosis, a fungal infection of the lungs. This condition did not contribute to death.
What does that mean?
It's I don't know, you'd have to Google histoplasma. It's a fungal infection of the lungs. It was microscopic sounding, but it did not contribute to any part of the death, is what he says in here. Microscopic examination of the tissues from the brain confirmed the presence of acute injuries. Microscopic examination of tissues from the brain confirmed the presence of acute, I think I read that twice. Microscopic examination of the bruises showed hemorrhage, and in some samples an acute inflammatory response was observed.
Toxicology showed sedatives, benzodiazepines, oxycodone, and Tylenol. The mother claimed she gave only Tylenol, but evidence proved stronger drugs had entered her child's system.
Toxicology testing, this is where they're talking about what was in her blood, okay, did not reveal any ethanol, which is alcohol, in the blood. A trace amount of acetone was present, possibly indicating mild ketosis at the time of death. A drug screen was positive for benzodiazepines and oxycodone. Additional testing showed diazepam in her blood at an elevated but non-toxic level. It is a metabolite. Nordiazepam was also present. Diazepam is a drug in the benzo family and is a sedative. The presence of oxycodone narcotic was confirmed. It was present at a non-toxic level. The testing also showed a low level of acetaminophen. The presence of acetaminophen and oxycodone suggests a combination drug such as Roxyset may have been administered. Okay?
I know I gave her Tylenol that day.
Okay, I don't think you gave her oxycodone.
I gave her Tylenol because she wasn't feeling good.
Okay, that's not oxycodone. Okay? Tylenol's not oxys or that combination, alright? Now this is where you need to listen really good, alright? The pattern of head injuries indicate they were produced by crushing type force as opposed to a direct blow or multiple blows. The number and extent of fractures caused collapse of the cranium with direct crushing of the brain. This type of injury is extremely devastating and would have caused immediate loss of consciousness and death within a very short time. This time frame is supported by the relatively small amounts of subdural and subarachnoid hemorrhage, as well as absence of the cerebral edema. As noted above, when tissue samples from the bruises on the body surface were examined microscopically, some showed the presence of an acute inflammatory response. Such a response generally takes hours to develop. Based on these findings, so what they're saying is there are bruises that it would have took hours to be like they were. So what they're going to say right here is based on these...
That's why I only seen two.
Huh? What?
So that's why I only seen the one here and one here.
No, listen what I'm fixing to say, okay? It says, based on these findings, so I'm going to go back and read this, alright? It says, as noted above, when tissue samples from the bruises on the body were examined microscopically, some showed the presence of acute inflammatory response. So what they're saying is they found that, and that takes hours to develop, and it has to develop while she's alive. Okay? So based on these findings, it is most likely that the injuries observed at autopsy were due to at least 2 applications of force at different times.
The injuries weren't accidental. Microscopic signs showed bruises from earlier assaults. Between them, drugs had been given to silence the child before her skull was fatally crushed.
So what they think it happened, it says this is also supported by the presence of drugs in her system. So they think that she was hurt, she was injured one time, and she was probably crying and upset, so the drugs were administered, and then that didn't make her stop, so the crushing of the brain happened next. It says this is also supported by the presence of drugs in her system. These medications were likely administered in order to sedate her and treat pain after the initial injuries were sustained. Along with the number, distribution, and severity of the injuries, the evidence of multiple assaults is inconsistent with any reasonable accidental scenario, including a fall. So they're saying this didn't happen from a fall. There were at least 2 different incidents, and in between, there were narcotics given to her to try to make it go away.
So all in the same day, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, but I was asleep the whole day because I wasn't feeling good too.
get up at 4 because she woke up?
I slept most of the day before because I wasn't feeling good. But she wasn't feeling good either. And a couple of times I woke up during the day. There was one time that I woke up and...
Listen to me. I'm going to ask you something. I don't want you to get offended by it, okay? Because I feel like I need to ask this, all right? You remember I talked to you before. Do you remember that? Okay. I'm a mama, all right? And I talked to you then. You know, there's like some cases in our career that we work and they just stick with you because you want to know the answers, and this is one of those, okay? And I think I told you when I talked to you last time that, you know, a mom's job is to protect her baby. But I also know, as a mom, that we can get severely frustrated. And I'm telling you, I've got 2 kids. I've been there, okay? And I don't think I ever asked you then, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I feel like I owe this to you. Did you have any type of like postpartum depression or anything like that? I'm
with her?
Yeah. None at all. Never had any type of depression or anything like that.
Investigators questioned the mother about depression or anger. She denied it, insisting Olivia was her best friend. But someone had delivered the violent blows.
Because I know, like, when I had my kid, my first one, I was 21 years old. All right.
I remember.
And
you were telling me that sometimes your kids would frustrate you on top of the stairs and just cry.
Yeah, I would. And it's so frustrating. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, you know, like I mean, I had to get away because I had those feelings. And
Olivia, though, she never made me angry. She was my bestest friend. With Peyton, I didn't have a real relationship with her because I was in and out of jail. I went to prison. But with Olivia, she was my bestest friend.
Somebody did that to your little girl. This is your baby. Do you see those bruises? Somebody crushed her skull into her brain.
I seen her.
Eva, somebody crushed her skull into her brain.
I wasn't there when I seen her.
That's what they're talking about in this autopsy report, the bruises. Did you do this? Did you accidentally hurt her?
No.
When you read the autopsy, even her tongue has bruising because she bit her tongue when this happened. This isn't a fall off the something, sis. And this stuff don't go away. I watched a thing today. This guy, he was 70-something years old, and he killed people in like the 50s or 60s, and they just arrested him. This stuff doesn't go away. I just want answers for her. She deserves that.
Experts believe 2 assaults occurred. First, bruises and sedation, then the fatal strike. The mother asked, why did she seem fine in bed? They answered coldly, she wasn't fine.
You said it happened twice?
And that's what the ME thinks, that there were two different incidents. That there was the first incident that caused bruising because it was older, and then they gave her drugs trying to probably get her to be quiet because it hurt her, and then the next one crushed her skull.
Was she just fine in the bed with me then?
She wasn't just fine.
Because I let him take care of her, it's all my... So the other one had to happen the day before too, right?
Not necessarily the day before. It says in here that what it's talking about with the tissues is it says that it takes them at least 2 hours. I think it's, hold on, let me find it back here. It takes hours to develop. So it says, as noted above, when tissue samples from the bruises on the body surface were examined microscopically, some showed the presence of acute inflammatory response. Such a response generally takes hours to develop. Based on these findings, it is most likely that the injuries observed were due to at least 2 applications of force at different times. So, the way they're describing it is, one application of force happened, which made the bruises, and then the Roxyset, or medicine very similar to Roxyset, was given, which is the oxycodone.
The timeline was clear: hours of hidden injuries, sedatives, then death. The mother recalled her partner carrying Olivia, saying she vomited. Later, she was put to bed. She never woke again.
I think it has, what did I say, benzos and oxy, and then I guess probably to make her...
I gave her Tylenol myself.
But that's not the same.
But I gave her Tylenol myself.
But that's not the same.
Because Jordan told me she was throwing up. So I gave her Tylenol myself.
But when did Jordan tell you she was throwing up?
I don't know exactly what time it was, but I woke up the day before, like 12:30, I think. And I was walking through the house to the garage to smoke a cigarette. And I looked up, and he had her in one arm and some stuff in the other arm, and just told me she threw up.
What do you mean stuff? Like medicine, or?
It looked like he just cleaned it.
Like puke?
The throw up.
Okay.
I want to say it was a stuffed animal and some other stuff. But I didn't think anything of it. I fell back in bed. And then we went to the doctor about 4 or 5, and she was asleep. So I gave Jim my phone and told him if he would, if she woke up, to call, and we would come straight home. We didn't even fill the prescriptions or nothing. We just came straight home. And when I got home, she was asleep. So I crawled back in bed.
She recalled waking up, placing Olivia beside her. Then she stepped outside for a cigarette. When she returned, Jordan said the baby had fallen asleep, so he laid her back down. She believed him.
Then I woke up again, and I was holding her, and I put her in the bed with me to let her lay with me, and then I got up off the bed and I went to smoke a cigarette. And I sat out there for a minute, and by the time I came back in, I'd already laid her back down because she said that she fell asleep. And then I went to bed, and she was asleep. When he woke me up saying some girl was at the house, I went outside, and I sat with him for like 15 minutes, and I come back in and went back to bed because she was still asleep. And then I slept until Jordan woke me up because he was coming to get in the bed. And then I fell back asleep. Then I sat straight up because I heard Olivia make a noise. And I put her in bed with me. She was making noise and she said no. And Jordan said, "Do I need to go to the other room?" And I said no. And I picked her up and I put her back in the thing, in the pack and play. I went and filled up the milk, and I come back and I gave it to her, and then I put her blanket over her and I kissed her and I told her I loved her, and then I went and got back in bed. When Jordan woke me up the next morning, he told me that he was going to get Billy, and I said okay. And I didn't hear her making no noise, so I just went back to sleep. I woke up to him tinkering in the bathroom, and then that's when I found her. When I found her, she didn't look like that. Jordan told me she had a heartbeat and he swore that he thought she was still alive. That's why he left.
Would you have left?
I would have never left her, and I would have never let nobody hurt her.
That night, Olivia stirred. Her mother held her, soothed her with milk, kissed her forehead, whispering love before drifting back to sleep. By morning, Jordan woke her, saying he'd go pick up Billy. Olivia lay silent. She assumed the child was still sleeping.
You're living with somebody that did.
Never let him hurt her.
I don't think you would have let him.
I would have told you if he did, if I knew it.
Well, either he did it or you did it.
There's no way in the world I would hurt her. She was my best friend.
She's beautiful, and she's innocent. There's no reason this should have happened to her.
That's why he never wanted me to see no autopsy report.
I told you when I met you, there was no reason to lie. I'll tell you, I've had my doubts about you, and I'll explain it, because in my mind, I can't imagine you staying with him.
I didn't know.
Did you just think we were lying to you? I mean, we told you.
I did.
I have no reason to lie to you. None.
Can I talk to my mom?
I don't know. Have you talked to your mama lately? Why not?
I didn't think you did. And then after a while, when I found out all this stuff about the girls and all of that, I was just afraid.
About the girls. I guess I missed that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Me and Jordan wasn't together the whole time. After he got out of jail down here and he was banned to the state, Fayette, Arkansas.
But the truth struck. Olivia was motionless in the bathroom. Jordan insisted there was still a heartbeat, but she knew otherwise. Investigators pressed her, if not him, then her. She sobbed. She was my best friend. I would never harm her.
He had 2 other women. I didn't know none of that until a couple of months ago. And I've been talking to my mom. I told my mom about the girls and the drugs, all of that.
Looks like you're clean.
That's clean. The 15th of November. My mom swears he killed her.
Look at me. If you didn't accidentally kill her, then he absolutely killed her. This is just total opinion on my part. But I feel like somebody stepped on her head. And that's just my personal opinion. That is not anything in here. That is just from looking at it and seeing it, it looks like they stomped on her head.
So stupid. I would never asked if he killed her. At first it was because I knew he didn't.
Everything about
But now I'm too scared to know the answer.
his reaction with everything was wrong. I mean, we came to do a search warrant on the house and y'all go for a stroll around the neighborhood. That's weird.
Because he had to get away from it.
Yeah, call 911 and your baby's unresponsive and he leaves and goes and talks to his ex-wife or girlfriend or whatever she was. That's not normal.
He said that was because me and Pam don't get along. She's right, we don't get along. He said he had to talk to her away from me.
While your baby is unresponsive? I think there's more important things right then than talking to his ex-wife or girlfriend.
He said that's because you guys were driving so fast you about pushed him off the road.
Suspicion shifted toward Jordan. He left home after the baby stopped breathing, calling his ex-wife instead of staying. He blamed family conflict, but detectives saw it as evasion. While the child lay dying, his focus was elsewhere.
He left you with an unresponsive baby at the house.
He said that's because he had the drug dealer in the car.
Pardon my French, but at that point, who gives a fuck? Do you get what I'm saying? That is a baby. Look at her. That is a beautiful baby. A beautiful, perfectly innocent baby. Nobody cares about a drug dealer.
He said it was because he thought she was alive and we didn't need that drama too. Because I asked him why he left too.
He knew she wasn't alive. You realize somebody gave her oxycodone and benzo to try to get her to be quiet because she had already been hurt once.
Can I talk to my mom?
I'm sure you probably can.
I really need to talk to my mom.
Okay. Let me go get Sergeant Perry, alright?
Can I smoke too?
Let me go get Sergeant Perry, okay? I'm sure he'll tell you later.
The mother admitted she had been blinded. Jordan claimed his lawyer said everything was fine, but the truth was darker. He had multiple women, ties to drugs. Her own mother believed Jordan killed Olivia. Detectives told her, if it wasn't you, it was him.
Let's smoke again.
I didn't know. He told me that the lawyer said that there was absolutely none. Can I talk to my mom?
Yeah. You know her phone number? What is it?
479.
I'm sorry.
479. 322. 2324.
There you go. It's ringing. I'll be right back, okay? Why don't you come out here and smoke and we'll try again?
Will you text, I try to call my sister Holly, but will you text her phone number and tell her that it's really important?
Who's that? Your sister or your mom?
My mom. Tell her it's really important.
The Greenwood number or the Waldron number?
The 322-2324.
Okay.
Tell her it's really important that it's Eva. I'm calling her off of Sergeant Perry's phone number to please answer.
Come on, you gotta smoke one.
Did my mom call back?
No, that's what we just looked at.
I'll be fine.
Okay. All right, I'm giving you the forewarning. It's not pretty, okay? I'm going to show you what her skull looked like in the autopsy.
Oh, God.
Okay? Look how broke it is. It's not from a fall.
She killed my daughter, didn't he?
If you didn't, he did.
Evidence mounted. Olivia's skull was shattered, far too severe for a fall. The wound looked crushed under force. Stunned, the mother whispered, "If it wasn't me, then he did it. So what am I supposed to do now?"
What do I do now?
I'd like for you to tell me everything that he's ever told you about this. Anything that you could remember, even if you think it's insignificant, about that time period that may be helpful. It may be the thing that we can put together. Do you get what I'm saying? Listen to me. You have a baby right now, right? 11 months old? Who's he with?
I need to talk to my mom.
We're trying to get a hold of her. Okay? Look at me. You have a baby that's with him right now. And I'm going to say this, and I hope, I guess the one thing that we can hope for is that he feels differently because that one's actually his.
Detectives reminded her she still had an 11-month-old, now with Jordan. They urged her to protect the child. On the phone, she broke down to her mother, "Mom, he killed her." Her mother panicked, promising to come immediately. At last, the devastating truth was spoken aloud.
Mom?
Yes.
Mom, what are you doing?
Watching TV?
Mom, Mom, I need you to come to Van Buren, please.
Come to Van Buren?
Mom, he killed her, Mom.
Oh my God.
I need you to come to Van Buren, please.
Will they let me come up there?
Mom, he killed her. Oh my God.
Will they let me come up there? Eva, ask Sergeant Perry. Eva, let me talk to Sergeant Perry. Eva, let me talk to Sergeant Perry real quick.
Hey, Eva. Your mama's on the way, okay? I'm going to give you a minute, alright? There's Kleenex right there, alright?
I really believed you didn't do it.
I'm so sorry.